some of the antiques that we would get would end up on the floor or across the room. But the strange thing was these were children's toys, mostly dolls.
Really?
And this went on for a while, and then...
They were moving by themselves?
Well, we'd lock up at the end of the night, and in the morning when we come down, that's where they'd be.
Okay.
No longer in the place on the shelf.
So what did you presume? That you were being broken into or something?
Well, we really weren't sure what was going on. We thought maybe we had mice or something, and then my aunt, who does a lot of these, who's into a lot of this, I thought maybe there's something to it. It was all harmless, and then we started hearing a child cry late at night, and we thought it was our daughter.
Uh-huh.
We'd go running into her room, and there she is, sound asleep.
Uh-huh.
And then later on after that, some of the toys in her room was being tossed around or misplaced.
Uh-huh.
And this started getting a little creepy. We moved into a friend's house for a while, and, we'd check in on the shop every morning, and same thing. Daughter's room, what was left, was still being tossed around. And no one was getting hurt. No one, nothing was happening to anyone, so, it was nice and safe. And then after a while, after we'd start, going on with the renovation, we knocked out an old wall, and the repairman said, "Hey, you're collecting antiques. Here's one for you." It was a very, very, very old doll that was blackened, like it was in a fire. And that area behind the wall also looked like it had been in a fire. And so my wife, she's really good about restoring things. She cleaned it up, put in some new eyes, new clothing, and actually set on the shelf. And nothing really happened after that. Everything had calmed down.
Maybe you had found the center of it, and you cured it somehow.
Well, that's
an incredible story.
Well, it hadn't dawned on us until we had sold this particular item, and everything started up again.
Oh.
And so we have been trying to track down this doll to get it back.
Oh, now wait a minute. So in other words, you sold that doll,
right,
as an antique.
Right.
And the hauntings began again?
Right.
And now you're trying to get the doll back?
Yes, we're desperately trying to find the person we sold it to. Did some research on the house. It really is an old building. It was one of the earlier ones in Kansas City, and it used to be a private orphanage. They had burned down.
I wish you luck. But short of being able to get that doll back, I think it's time to go on to whatever's next.
Sounds like a good plan.
Thanks for the call. Well, there's a story for you. Yikes. I thought it was over, but he sold the doll, and now it is returned. Whatever it is, it wants that doll back, and I suspect if it doesn't get it, well, as I said, sir, there have got to be other things for you to do. West of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Yeah, I've got a real weird story for you.
All right, where are you?
In Mountain Lake Terrace,
all right,
north of Seattle.
Yes, sir?
A long time ago, when I was about 11 years old, one of my mom's friend's son was killed on Halloween. And then a couple months go on from that, then all of a sudden my mom gets connected with this one lady that plays with Ouija boards. And she said, could I ask a question?
Uh-huh.
And the woman said, sure, go right ahead. And she said, would I ever lose my sons? Well, the thing pointed to yes. And my mom said, that's nothing. Then about a year from that, me and my brother end up in a foster home. We end up inside my mom's friend's, that son that died on Halloween, her foster home, and I get his bedroom.
Wow.
And all of a sudden I was asleep one night, and there was like 2 other foster kids in the bedroom with me.
Yes.
And I'm asleep on my bed, and they're asleep in their bed. All of a sudden, I feel my bed pressed down real hard, like someone's sitting on it. And I got scared. I didn't even want to open up my eyes. And I said, get out of here in the name of Jesus. And all of a sudden, the bed just, boom, raised up.
Raised up?
Well, from the push. And
oh, you mean from being depressed?
Yes.
It raised up. So whatever it was, left immediately.
Yep, and I went to the foster mother, and she said, oh, it was the dog. He was in your room. I said, no, he wasn't. The door was closed.
You're sure of that?
I was positive of that. And I asked everyone else in the bedroom after they woke up, did you feel anything? They looked at me. They said, you're crazy.
Well, it's a good story, and I appreciate your telling it.
All right.
Thank you. That to me seems like it was a story of just evil. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
How you doing, Art? This is Bill from St. Louis.
Yes, sir.
I experienced something one time when I was in the Marines in Okinawa, Japan.
I know Okinawa. I lived there.
I had a Japanese girlfriend, and we were visiting the southern area where they have all these monuments of World War II.
Oh, yes.
And one time we were there watching the sun go down, along the horizon. And I'm sorry, I'm a little bit nervous. And we felt the presence of people all around us, and we could hear voices in our head, like people talking, which I couldn't understand it. And I looked to my Japanese girlfriend.
Yes.
And she was running a mile a minute. Back to the car, and she had tears rolling out of her eyes, and she never told me what she heard or seen or felt. She would never talk about it. And that's probably something I never forgot since I was on that island.
Well, I, too, lived there many years, sir, at Kadena first, Kadena Air Force Base, then Naha. And I can tell you, there were many bloody battles on that island. Many people died. Very violent deaths on that island. That's Okinawa. And it's a haunted island. We will be back.